Hi everyone, welcome to Water Tanks with stewiejp. I'm Stewie and this is the T49. The massive, the powerful Tier 8 American light tank, and it's being driven by an old mate of mine, John 5554, who's in Pyro Clan. Pyro Clan doing amazing things on the global map, and John 5554 doing amazing things in one of his favourite tanks, the T49, with the derpy gun. And he's playing on Redshire. This is the map where I nearly did my final mission for the T55A, but failed by 40 hit points of spotting damage. John's in the bushes on the hills. There's not many players going on the hills in this game. Normally on Redshire you get plenty of mediums or even heavy tanks sniping from the back where that STB1 is on the hills in Redshire, but John's gone out there to try and light a few things up. He's spotted a couple of tank destroyers, the Tier 9 Rifle Traeger Alf Panzer 4, as well as the Object 268, which is a Tier 10 Russian derpy thing. He's put a little bit of assisted damage into those tank destroyers, which John loves to do, but what he loves to do even better than spot targets is to put some of those big derpy shots from the T49's short and stumpy gun into the enemy tanks. Now he's coming up to the top of the ridge again just to try and outvision those tank destroyers. A lot of the enemy tanks have been spotted, but that Bulldog still hasn't been seen. The LTTB's been killed, and he's just trying to work out what he can spot from where he is and from the centre of the hills on Redshire. It's not looking like a bad matchup for John's team. He's got plenty of heavy tanks to dish out and to take a little bit of damage on the heavy line, which is where a lot of them are gone. He's found that Object 268, which he really wants to get out the way of because he can really put a bit of pain into John. The Bulldog damages his ammo rack. John takes the Bulldog down to 38 hit points, but he's a long way from being reloaded because his ammo rack is damaged. So John's running around and hoping someone's going to take that Bulldog out. It doesn't look like they're going to at this stage. Bulldog's only on 38 hit points. Bulldog keeps shooting. Looks like the Bulldog spotted the STB. And the 1-2 line is in a world of trouble. The Centurion Action X, the T54, T71, and the T54 lightweight, the Russian Tier 8 lightweight. They are running amok up there, and that Object 261 on John's side, the artillery, it looks like he's in a bit of strife. And they've also got the Centurion 71, the Tier 9 British, pushing that line. John's side's looking really good on the heavy line, the 9-0 line. They've got the numbers there for the heavy tanks, and that side's not really in trouble. But that T54 could do a little bit of damage, especially to that artillery. John's evaluated the situation, looked at it, and thought, well, I think the arty's just about gone. There's no use sacrificing himself, pushing himself into that position. 9-0 line is winning comfortably, but there's no way John can go up against three higher tier medium tanks on the 1-0 line. But the game's not over yet. Even though the 9-0 line's looking okay, John's going to go and help them because they really need to mop up those tanks, get rid of them, and then turn their attention back to A3 where those three medium tanks are. The STB1 will be able to keep them lit for that Rifle Traeger. The Tier 10 autoloader, which is about to be replaced by the grill. John gets in behind the pattern and puts a shot into his rear for 300 hit points, and that brings his damage counter up to 1200 exactly for the match. Now John's side are flanking those heavies, but they lose their T34-1, which is Tier 7 medium, and John finishes off that M48 pattern, which can be a really dangerous tank in the right circumstances. Tier 10 American medium tank, which I don't have yet. I've unlocked it. I'm really looking forward to getting it. But John's doing the right thing here. The T57 is now in a lot of trouble. That 9-0 line's gone from looking really comfortable to being in dire straits, while the IS-4 is focused on the T57 Heavy. John whacks a shot into the back of the IS-4. Luckily for John, that gun's not aiming his way, and John keeps it that way by running away via the other side. He's hoping not to get a shot from that IS-4. Artillery fires and misses. That was the enemy artillery, because John's artillery has been killed. And it's not over yet, but John's side isn't out of the woods yet. They're down by a tank, 10-11. The Waffenträger is on 2 kills. The T57, the STB1, and John's on 1 kill apiece. But the STB1's in a lot of trouble with those same three medium tanks that work so well together. 2 of them are in a platoon, and another one, the Centurion, was following along. Now, while that Centurion's distracted, John hits him, and so does someone else for 400, probably the T57. T57 kills 2 of those medium tanks, which really evens the game up at 12 apiece. But I think John's side's got the advantage here because they don't have any artillery. The enemy have 2 out of their 3 remaining tanks are artillery players, plus that T54. That T54 is on about half health. And John's picked up 2,000 damage here, but he wants some more. He's got that derpy gun, and this is exactly the kind of situation the T49's derpy gun does really well at. Low armoured tanks, such as those Tier 8 artillery pieces, could be one-shot by John's short and stumpy cannon, which can really make artillery players cry. We like to see artillery players cry, but here we go. He's going towards their cap. I'll bet the house on it. John's not going to try and cap this out. John's going to try and go for some more derp action with those artilleries. The T54 was last seen in the middle of the map on those hills. I wouldn't be surprised if that T54 tried to get on the cap to try and put a bit of pressure on John's team. The Waffenträger is pushing down the east side. Now John sees these 2 artillery pieces, but he's not going to try and shoot them yet because they're both aiming his way. So he's going to keep them lit up. He's going to auto aims at the Tiger, shoots and hits him. Luckily for John, the Tiger fires. And so now John wants to make sure that American artillery, the M40-43, can't shoot him because that's the one that hasn't fired yet. Now the T57's sitting on the cap. T57's a one-shot. T57's on not many hit points at all. There's the Tiger, which we don't think the Tiger is loaded yet, so John takes the easy kill. The American artillery that fires, and John knows that his reload is a lot quicker at this stage than that M40, but he's still going to stay behind him, and he's going to sit here behind him, get ready to line him up, and boom, one shot him for his 3rd kill. Nearly 3,000 damage, and a win which wasn't looking too likely. As we look at the post-game battle results, we've got John's picked up an ace tanker for that game on Redshire. Ace tanker mastery badge. Spotter for enabling his allies to cause at least 1,000 hit points of damage. Bruiser and fire for effect. Look at all those tanks that he spotted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 tanks he spotted. That's half the enemy side. Plus he did some assisted damage. Picked up some 3 kills and did a heap of damage for his team. 2nd highest damage in the game. Looking at the post-game battle result, 2,871 damage for a base experience of 1,419. That's base experience. That's not with a multiplier or with a premium account. That's 1,400 base experience, which is massive for a light tank or for any tank. Also picked up 4,000 spotting damage, which is awesome. And he even blocked a couple of shots early on in the game. Great result by John. It is T49, Tier 8 American light tank, which I know he loves. Picked up a nice, healthy profit of nearly 47,000 credits. Thanks, John. Thanks for that replay. I know it was a while ago that you sent it to me, but it was a massive game in the T49 light American tank with that short and stumpy derpy gun, which we all love so much. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you've enjoyed this replay. If you have, please consider subscribing to the channel or liking it or sharing it on social media. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you all next time.